United Airlines Flight 4467, Route 1 is now welcome to board.
Hi, Amy.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
Great. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in the airport and have a mask on, so I'm just going to go no camera today.
Oh.
United Airlines
Going somewhere fun?
44.
New Jersey? Is that fun?
Is it vacation? I've never been to New Jersey.
Yeah, I grew up here. My
Oh,
high
okay.
school friends were hanging out on the beach for the weekend. We rented a house.
Well, that definitely sounds like fun.
Yeah, it should be a good time. We do it usually in like Hilton Head or Myrtle Beach, somewhere not New Jersey, but I have a couple of friends that are expecting kids, and so we decided to be convenient for them to if they need to leave, they can. It's not too far away for where they need to go.
Yeah, nice. Is it hot in New Jersey right now?
Like 80 degrees
Oh,
or so.
that's nothing.
What? It's 76.
Nice.
I hear it's hot in Denver.
I don't know about Denver, but Albuquerque is like 100 degrees every single day this week.
Nice. All right. Well, you guys are setting the bar high.
Oh man, a little break would be nice at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think we're going to get it this weekend. That cold front is going to cool it down to 90.
Nice. Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, definitely.
Hi,
Hey,
Tim.
Hey guys, just this is Zoom etiquette, and I suppose I should have been asking this kind of thing well beforehand. Is this shirt giving anybody like vertigo on Zoom? I mean, is it? No, but no. I had this on another screen, and it was like doing all kinds of funky stuff. But maybe it's because I blurred my background here. Hang on.
It's not too bad.
Oops. What am I doing? Oh yeah.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Ian.
I'm on the road, so I'm gonna keep my video off if that's okay.
Ian, that's fine. You've got a couple of roles today. Are you going to be able to help us with those, even though you're moving and traveling?
Yeah, I'm in the passenger seat, so I'll be okay.
Okay. Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm similar. I'm in the airport right now, so I have my
Cool.
camera off.
Yeah, and I'm on the freeway, so I get service.
Nick,
Stays.
we can hear
Wonderful.
your airport announcement.
Yeah, I was just saying, Nick, they're calling your name PSA or something.
Oh man, embarrassing.
Where are you going, Nick?
I'm in New Jersey. I just landed about an hour ago.
Oh,
Nice.
are you in Newark?
Newark, New Jersey.
Oh, it's my least favorite airport. Oh, I hate that airport.
These are important friendly.
Well, they have open arms here, I guess.
Okay. Dana, this is our pregame warm-up. Very glad you're joining us. I feel like I have to yell over the speaker.
Okay, hi everybody.
Hi,
Hello.
welcome.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Haley.
Is this your first visit with us?
First visit with you guys, yes.
Oh, wonderful. Are you here in Denver?
I am in Denver now.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I'm so glad you could join us for our special Zoom only meeting here today. We've been trying out, thanks to Nick's leadership, some in-person meetings, but this week is going to be all Zoom. And apparently, as you probably just heard, we're all over the place. We've got Nick in the Newark airport, Ian somewhere on the highways and byways of our nation. We've got
Montana.
Amy. Oh, you're in where in Montana?
We're in a place called Absaroki.
That's going
It's-
up towards Lake McDonald in that area.
I honestly don't know. This is my first time in Montana. We were just here for a wedding that was last night. So we're I'm going down to Vegas now. We're on the road. So
Ian, that's a significant distance.
it is.
Okay, all right.
Thanks for reminding me.
Okay, I hope you're not planning to get there like this evening. I mean, like
No,
you've got-
not at all.
Yeah,
We're
you've got.
we're gonna go towards Salt Lake City and probably stop at a park or something.
You're gonna see some beautiful parks along the way there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, sorry to cut you off.
No worries, no worries. And then we've got Amy. You're still in New Mexico, I guess.
Yep, I'm in Albuquerque for another month, and then I'm on my way.
Wonderful, wonderful. Dana, how did you find us? Am I saying that right? I assume it's Dana.
You are saying that correctly.
Okay. Yes.
You know what? I just went out on the internet and just looked for you guys close by where I'm living, and I found you. You know,
Wonderful. Well,
Yeah.
again, we're so glad you could join us.
glad to be here.
I have a couple of minutes past the hour, so and we've got a few people, Kevin in particular, who has several roles today, who I hope he's going to show up, but I've gone ahead and taken some notes on table topic questions, so I can cover that. And I can also give a word of the day and do the grammarian role, but let's give him another couple of minutes and hopefully he'll show up and we can get started.
Tim, you can see if Haley wants to fill in either for Kevin or Ian has a couple of roles too.
Is she on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
Haley, are you up for maybe being, let's take an example here. Oh, I think we need could you do the grammarian role?
Yeah, that's what I did last time, right?
That's right. That's
Okay.
right.
Yeah, that's fine.
As I said, I've got actually a word of the day that I'm going to roll into sort of a topic. Oh, thank you, Nick. You changed it automatically. That's really wonderful. And we also need another evaluator, unless Ian, you want to do both, evaluate both speakers. Is that possible from your situation there?
Sure, I'll do my
Okay.
best.
Okay. That's the best that we can ask of anybody here.
I could, if Ian's gonna do that, I can do the counter since he'll be
Oh.
trying to evaluate two people.
Okay. Oh, that's Nick. That if you don't mind, that would be wonderful. You're very good at that. So I really appreciate you taking that on.
Cool. Easy enough.
Wow. Nick, this is really cool that you're filling all this in real time. You're making this stupid easy for somebody who's very stupid. All right. Well, with that, why don't we get started? We already did sort of an introduction for Dana, but Dana is a visitor here. She's joining us from Denver, which is a little bit unusual since we seem to be spread out all over the place as usual. And it's wonderful, as I said, to have her here. And Dana, if you have any questions, feel free to pipe up or reach out to Nick at the end of the meeting. He's really sort of runs this show and is just a font of knowledge about all things Toastmasters. So he would be really good if you have any questions about joining us or any of the craziness that takes place here today. So let me get back to my agenda here. Sorry, I'm toggling between two screens. So Ian, I don't know whether you actually have a joke or inspiration, but I was kind of over preparing today, and I actually pulled one together, and I'd love to share it with everybody because it actually contains what is, I hope, going to be the word of the day for everybody to use. So Ian, unless you're super inspired or have a super good joke, I can proceed directly.
No, go ahead. I honestly didn't see that I was in the joke role, so this works out perfectly.
Wonderful when a plan comes together. So I'm just going to read a little paragraph that comes from a book that I keep sort of at the ready sometimes. It's a very good book, and I can send around a link after the meeting. The word of the day is going to be compassion. And the paragraph goes, remember that compassion literally means to feel passion with. Passion means pain. Passion is the willingness to feel pain with another, to feel another's pain as one's own. We usually think of compassion as something sweet and nice, positive and wonderful. Everybody wants to be compassionate. And it's true, compassion feels good, but we overlook the fact that compassion is also essentially a painful feeling. And with that, I wanted just to do a quick tweet response to sort of bring us all together. What is something that's causing you pain right now? And if there's anybody that is dying to begin, please do so. Otherwise, I'll just go around the horn here. All right, I'm going to go around the horn. And starting on my screen is Amy. Is there something that's causing you pain right now?
Yeah, thanks, Sam. Actually, this is a really pertinent question for me right now. I am wrapping up 13 years in Albuquerque and going to move to Denver. So the thing that is causing me pain right now is saying goodbye to the people that have rooted me here and been my friends and chosen family for over a decade now. Even though I plan on coming back, it still feels very painful to be away from the support system I have built. Thank you.
I thought you were going to say it was packing, because packing is a great source of pain for me in my life. All right, continuing on with the tweet response. And Dana, just so you know, this is just a warm-up exercise that we do where we use a brief little prompt like that to allow everybody an opportunity to quickly get their sea legs, basically, and give a quick response. So Haley, you're next on my little trip around the horn here. Is there something that's causing you pain?
Sure, thanks for the question. I would say I'm trying to get into better shape right now. I feel like I've been hibernating for a while, and I'm trying to get back into the world and be more healthy. So I've started to work out again, and I'm a little bit sore from it. And so that would be my literal form of pain.
I hear you. I actually did something. Well, yes, I know your pain. I did something to myself the other day, and yeah, it's causing me a little bit of physical pain because I have not been trying that thing in a long time. And yeah, you forget how easy it is to tweak something if you don't use it.
Yeah.
Ian, from the highway, is there something causing you pain?
You know, my first thought is my big toe right now. I just pulled off my toenail. So physical pain is something I'm going through currently. And my left toenail is gone. I don't know if it doesn't look like it's growing back yet. So we're going to see if I get a new toenail. But it also feels very good to have it off, that it, now that I pulled it off. So it's causing me pain, but also I'm getting through it. And then as far as from a emotional side, I'd say with my, one book, we're going through some delays on development. So that's causing me a little bit of pain just to see it being delayed. I'm just super excited to get it released and just waiting on a few more things. So yeah, those two things. But other than that, I think I've been pretty painless.
Well, that's wonderful perspective. That's that there's both the physical and sort of the psychic, emotional pain, and being able to stay balanced between the two. It sounds like you're in that shot. So, Nick, you're next. Is there something causing you pain?
I'm gonna give a similar answer like Ian. I have pain in my right elbow. My company is doing a push-up challenge where you do about, is it 3,000 push-ups in 25 days, where it has a schedule and you do between 100 to 200 push-ups per day. I was trying to do it. I was really excited to be part of the team and do my push-ups. And after a week of doing it, my elbow just started to kill me. So I stopped doing that. And then emotional pain for one of the companies I run, our lead developer just put his 1 month notice in. I don't really have somebody that can really fill in his shoes yet. So the emotional pain of finding a way to keep the company stable after he leaves. And that's my pain. Thank you.
Gosh. That's gotta be tough on both ends there. And Dana, I don't know whether you want to join in this, the celebration of pain here, but if you've got something you'd like to share, please.
I'm here for all the pain. No. But I'm going to piggyback on Amy and say that my pain is getting adjusted or getting a regimen that works for me, since we've moved here to Denver now. It's a different environment, even though my husband's family is here. It's just trying to get, in a schedule, see where you fit. And it's painstaking for me, because I'm like, let's get in there and let's go. And I've got friends and I've got places to go. Well, no, I don't. You're unpacking, you're trying to get situated in your house. So that would be my pain for right now. Trying to just see where I fit now.
Wonderful. Well, thank you everybody for sharing. And I think hopefully by hearing those things, we feel a little bit closer, and hopefully we can do what I chose as the theme today, which is focus, and bring our minds together and really focus and bring some intentionality to this meeting. And sort of to that end, let's just quickly run through all our roles today, and let's begin with the ah counter. And Nick, you're going to be our ah counter.
Thank you, Toastmaster. As the ah counter, I'll be counting touch words that people use during the speech. Touch words are well, so, but, and, like, and double clutch words. And for Dana, double clutches are when you repeat a word in a row. So you can say and, like, that'd be a double clutch as well. I'll be recording these and giving the report at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Nick. Haley, you're going to be our grammarian and watching for the word of the day, which is going to be compassion.
Yes. So I will look for good uses of grammar and vocabulary, and then the word of the day, as you said, and then give a report at the end of the meeting.
Excellent. And I'm going to be our timer and vote counter. Dana, thanks to some of the beautiful technology expertise of our leadership, we have a automatic voting system, and there's a link that Nick, did you send that around yet? I think you did. Yes,
Which
you
link?
did. For voting.
Yeah,
So we have it. Okay. Oh yeah, feedback and all that stuff. Wonderful. It's in the chat feature. And at the end of the meeting, I will give a brief report about people's use of time and I guess probably pass it to Nick so he can report on the voting. So with that, let's transition to everybody's favorite part of the meeting, the speakers part of the meeting. And Ian, you're going to be giving an introduction to our first speaker, who's going to be Amy.
Yes, I am. Amy, her speech is going to be about the healthcare industry. Amy has worked in the healthcare industry as an administrator for more than 11 years, with clinical revenue for more than 5 years at the University of New Mexico in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The University of New Mexico serves the most indigent and underserved populations of New Mexico. Today, she will talk about the importance of advocating for yourself in today's healthcare systems. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you very much, Ian. And I don't know
Amy?
if I mentioned.
Actually, Amy, before you begin, you're going to be speaking for 5 to 7. Is that right?
Yes, I was just about to say that. I'm
Okay.
not sure
Oh,
if
sorry.
I mentioned that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'll flash the green at 6, and then
Okay.
with 6:30 I will do yellow and then red at 7.
Okay, perfect. And I'm going to, can I have screen share so I can use PowerPoint, please?
Let's see. Nick, do you have?
I did it.
I got
Oh.
it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Nick.
Okay. See if I can. Okay. Well, thank you for letting me be here today, everybody. I am going to talk today a little bit about advocating for yourself in our healthcare system in the United States. And this is all based on my 11 years of experience as an administrator for various departments in an academic health center, the University of New Mexico's Health Center. First, I'm going to tell you a story, true story, that happened to one of the doctors I work with. Then I want to tell you a little bit about the structure of healthcare in the US today. And finally, a little bit about what you might need to know in order to maneuver and advocate for yourself within those systems. At the end, I'm going to summarize my points, and I also have a one-page handout that you can take with you that gives all the information I'm going to go over. So it has been my job to make sure that we collect the clinical revenue generated by the doctors that worked in my departments. A while ago, when I worked in family and community medicine, one day I get an email from one of my doctors. She is very distressed because a patient reached out to her by email and said she got a $1,000 bill in the mail from the health system. And the doctor could not figure out why they had charged her for this lab test that she had ordered, but that the insurance company should have covered. And she was so upset about it. She wanted to pay out of pocket, reimburse this patient out of pocket, because she felt like it was her fault that she'd received this bill. I said, okay, let's wait a minute. Let's look into this a little bit. After quite a bit of investigation, because it does take a while to get a hold of the right person, sometimes in a big health system, come to find out that the test had been ordered through the electronic health record twice, and the lab didn't question it. They ran the test twice. The insurance company did cover one test per the explanation of benefits, per the person's insurance benefits. But the second test had to come out of pocket. It was not a justified expense. So what we ended up doing was requesting to the healthcare system to write off the second test for the patient, because there had been some error that created this second test order and bill. And in the end, they did take the balance off of the patient's account. So although it was a happy ending, it caused a lot of distress in the meantime. But what was the thing that fomented figuring this problem out and fixing it was the patient reaching out to the provider. Now, I know when I get a bill from healthcare, my temptation is just to pay it or to lay down and cry in the fetal position for a few minutes and then pay it. But I'm here to tell you today that you should advocate for yourself, because although sometimes these big healthcare systems seem like lumbering beasts, they are made up of people, and those people do make mistakes, but they are also the people that can correct them. In our healthcare today in the United States, there are a few different models that can be used, but we have one that's really pervasive and most popular, and that is called the fee-for-service model. Fee-for-service basically means that each service provided has a code assigned to it, and each code assigned has a charge. So the more things that your doctor does during your visit, the more charges there will be. There are other places that have what's called a single payer system, and they use a different model called value-based care. You might hear that term. Just to give you a comparison. But in fee-for-service, really goal number one is to make money. And I'll tell you that because I was on the collect the money side. The first goal is to make money. It's a business. Healthcare in this country is mostly a business. And if you can't make money, you can't run a business. In order to stay alive, you have to make money. And then goal number two, of course, is to provide quality patient care. But you have to make money in order to do that. So I'm going to give you a few things that you need to know in order to advocate for yourself. The first thing I just want to make everyone aware of is the existence of this thing called the charge master. It's basically a huge Excel spreadsheet. It has all the charges on it for all the services. And the way this works is the system is going to use the highest reimbursable charge and assign that on the charge master for a service. So when you go to the doctor, let's say it's on the charge master at $100. What that means is there is some insurance company out there paying $100 for that. That does not mean that every insurance company will pay that. Often you will see on your insurance statement something called an adjustment. When the payers go through contract negotiation with the healthcare system, they are negotiating what the price is going to be on the charge master. And they're only going to pay that amount. It's probably not always 100% of what's on the charge master. As I mentioned, when you go to the doctor, you will receive a statement from your insurance company. It's not a bill, it's more like an FYI. Also be aware of your explanation of benefits. As a patient, you should always be updating your insurance information with your provider every single time you go, because you do not want to get to have a denial happen because your insurance was out of date. Make sure you're familiar with your explanation of benefits. And eligibility. That goes along with that. It's, are you current with your insurance? Then after the insurance has paid their portion to the healthcare system is going to turn around and send the bill to the patient for their portion. So what you're actually getting is after it's gone through that entire process. The very last thing I want to mention, and this is very in the weeds, are these things called HCPCS CPT codes. It's not really important that you know what these things stand for, but if you were to ask for a list of HCPCS or CPT codes from your insurance company or the healthcare system, they should both have this list that can tell you in detail every single service that was provided to you and what was charged for it. If you need that information, I would say that is the limit of your self-advocacy. And at that point, you may need to contact legal counsel. I hope this information has been helpful for you, and thank you so much for your attention today. Best of luck getting the healthcare you need in our system.
Wonderful. Thank you, Amy. I apologize. My skill with the backgrounds and coordinating it with the timing is a little rusty here, but I hope it came through. I actually, it wasn't until you got 30 seconds left that I actually figured out how to change it again and figured out where they were. So I apologize if that messed you up. You did go a little bit over, but you clearly know your material, and I thought it was a very good speech. But I don't want to shade anybody's judgment. Let's just take a couple of minutes here, fill out the online form for Amy, and then we'll move on to our next speaker, who will be Nick. And Ian again will be serving as our introducer for Nick. Okay, let's just take another couple of seconds, and then we'll pass the mic to Ian so he can introduce Nick here. And I promise, Nick, I'll do a better job timing, because I now know exactly where all my colored backgrounds are here. And I'll hit you with 1 minute left with the green, 30 seconds with yellow, and then red when you hit the 7 minute mark. Okay, with that, Ian, can you please introduce our next speaker?
Yes, I can. Nick today is going to be talking about composting. What is composting? How do you compost? Why should you compost? And other questions surrounding the system of composting. These are the questions Nick will be answering in his speech on composting. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Toastmasters. Thank you, everyone joining today. I will present. By a show of hands, who here composts? Dana? So Dana, I have a question for you. Why do you compost?
But my husband has a garden, and so he would compost to put it back, fertilize the area so he can grow more vegetables, more flower, it just helps the flowers and the vegetables. So that's why that's why he composts.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. Today, I want to jump into the science of compost. And I want to start off by defining what is composting. It's been a buzzword, I feel like, over the past 20 years, but composting has been around since, I don't know, since the beginning of planet Earth. If you think about it, leaves, when they fall off the tree, they decay, and then their nutrients are picked up by the living roots. This is one example of Earth's natural recycling process. In more relevant terms, to define composting is the natural process of decay to change organic material into a valuable humus-like material, which is compost. In composting, natural organic microorganisms such as bacteria and fungi, not myself, where they change the organic material. This process is very dependent on oxygen, temperature, the organic material, and the population of the microorganisms. How can you compost? There's really two different ways. First way, as Dana mentioned, is backyard composting. So if you have a yard to do it, you can do your own composting with no cost. Another way is a compost collection service. And within that, there are two different options. There's your public option, so the city of Denver or your local city can provide a composting bin for you, or if you don't have access to the public, you can go with a private composting service, which I do through my apartment complex, since I can't have access to the city of Denver composting service. Both of these services, you do have to pay for it, but you're helping the environment, which is the great thing about it. Now, the next question is, what can you compost? A great rule of thumb is if you can eat it, you can compost it. So that mentions fruits, vegetables, eggs and nutshells, shells and bones, bread, pasta grains, meat and dairy. Other composted items, paper, your plants, your grass clippings. Number 7, plastics can be compost. Any paper that is soiled, you can't really recycle it, so you can compost instead. What you should not compost, and this is more for backyard composting, is animal products, cooked foods, oil and grease, and pet waste. For some reason, I guess people do that. I didn't think that would be a thing, but this graph mentioned it. And the reason why is these would attract animals to your compost in the backyard. So if you avoid composting those things, your backyard compost will be a lot better. Let's talk about the benefits of composting. There are a lot, but I think this slide really captures my top 5. First, it retains more water. Compost helps strengthen the soil's ability to retain water. This causes plants to not need to be watered as frequently. It reduces soil erosion. Erosion occurs when topsoil is blown or washed away, causing infertile topsoil. Compost can restore topsoil and build stable soil structure. The third one is probably my favorite. Helps carbon sequestration. Carbon is stored in the top 3 feet of soil and is released into the atmosphere when the soil structure is poor. Applied compost helps improve soil structure to combat against this. Reduce landfill waste. I've seen numbers from 30% to 50% of our food waste goes to landfills. It's a lot. So composting helps divert materials from going to landfills, minimize the amount of greenhouse gas emissions released into the atmosphere, and lengthening the capacity of landfills. And the last one is reduce need for synthesizing fertilizers. Compost sufficiently supplies soil with nutrients like phosphorus and nitrogen. This reduces the need for additional fertilizers because compost naturally provides the necessary nutrients for the soil, which relates to Dana's point. So thank you for mentioning that. Why shouldn't you compost? I mentioned those benefits. There's got to be some negatives, right, Nick? Well, there's not a lot, but here's some for you. So backyard composting, I mentioned, it's just going to require more time and monitoring to upkeep it. It can lead to an unpleasant smell depending on what you put in it. It can also may attract rats, snakes, and bugs, again, depending on what you put in it. Commercial composting, negative is the cost you have to do with it, but if you relate it to other things you pay for, like water or trash, it's just another thing you have to pay for. And the range of it, depending on where you live, can be between $8 to $25 per month for that service. If you want to learn more about composting, I highly recommend this documentary. It's on Netflix. It's called Kiss the Ground. It really does a great job of painting the landscape of composting, pun intended. It's about a 1 to 2 hour video. Highly recommend if you want to dive more into it. Quick tangent from composting, but it's relatable. What should you not be doing right now that's kind of related to composting is don't be using your garbage disposal as your main source to get rid of food waste. One, a garbage disposal, there's no environmental benefits from it. You're wasting water, and also you might be clogging up your pipes. Really, a garbage disposal should be used as a last resort for any food scraps that do go through your sink, but you shouldn't be throwing food into your sink to get rid of it through your garbage disposal. In conclusion, what do you compost? If you can eat it, compost it. Benefits of composting, it helps the environment in so many ways. And if you haven't started, you can, guess what? You can get started today. There are services out there that can help you do this. And I hope I have inspired you to maybe start thinking about it. Thanks, have a great day. Bye.
Nick, I would tell you right now, I don't know if this has ever happened before, but you hit 7 minutes on the nose, according to my timing. So very good job. Well, you did a you did a wonderful job. So again, let's just take a couple of moments here to finish to complete the feedback form for Nick, and then we will move on to the table topics section, which I will endeavor to coordinate with a few questions that I developed since Kevin is not with us today. All right, just a couple more seconds here. Okay, I'm definitely the slowest typer of you all, so you all have to be done, right? Okay, so we're gonna cruise on and enter the table topics section of this meeting, and we're gonna return in the table topics questions to the theme for today, which is focus. And these are all questions that in some way deal with focus and our ability to bring focus to activities. So Is there anybody that would like to volunteer? Otherwise, I'm just going to go around the horn as I've done before. Okay, I'm going to go around the horn. Haley, you get my first question, and I'm going to endeavor to time these as well. So let me just do a little prep work here. I'll pull up my backgrounds, and I will give you the green at 1 minute, the yellow at 1 minute 30, and the red at 2 minutes. Okay. So with that, the first question is, what does being focused feel like for you?
Thank you for the question, Tim. Being focused feels like not having to track time passing. It's when I don't look at the clock or care about what I'm doing when what I'm doing ends, and I'm very mindful of what I'm doing, and I feel the most present. And being focused to me also means having a goal and being dedicated to the goal. So knowing the bigger picture of what I'm doing and how I'm going to accomplish that. And now I'm short, but that's all I have.
No, it's okay. That's what this is for. It's to practice, thinking and putting these things all together as you go. So very good job. That was short, but fortunately, I think we're all gonna get a couple of opportunities here to do this. So let me reset my watch, and we'll move on to Ian. So Dana, I sent around a little paragraph where I put some thoughts down about how to focus, and one of the final bits of information is the importance of relaxing after periods of focus. And Ian, my question to you is, because I think you're probably really good at this, how do you relax after periods of focus? Ian, are you with us?
Yes. Sorry about that. I was just trying to change off the mute. But yes, after a long time of trying to focus on something and putting all my attention onto one area of my life, to relax, I just open up my mind. I honestly think that I have a pretty good ability at just being free to whatever comes my way. So I think the easiest thing to do at that point, especially after you're putting all your energy into one matter, is to just let things come to you and just live life as much as you can. And I like to breathe. I definitely try to get my deep breaths in. I always try to do 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, 5-second hold, the box method. So I think opening up your mind and just letting the world around you happen, and just focus on your, I guess not focus on that anymore, but letting go of whatever else that I had previously put all my focus and energy towards. So I definitely think that with breathing and just finding your, getting your inner peace is something that can be done by just opening up your mind and letting it happen, rather than trying to force anything else to happen. So that would be my tips and tricks for trying to get away from a big focus session. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Okay. Nick has suggested, and I think you're probably right on this, maybe we can just do one or two more. And then we'll go right into the reports. So Nick, Amy, or Dana, any of you, one of you have a yen to engage on our table topics here today? If not, I'm just going to pick.
If Dana wants to go, she's comfortable. She can have the
Oh,
floor.
I see. I think Nick. I think you spotted something there. I think she did. No, are you sure? Okay. Well, Amy, how about you? Because I think Nick is probably in baggage claim now, and it might be a little bit calmer if you do it. So, Amy, what is the difference for you between being alert and being focused?
Well, thanks, Mr. Toastmaster. Good question. I think being focused for me is almost the opposite. When I think of being alert, it's like having my ears open to everything around me or being situationally aware. Paying attention to lots of different things around me, trying to take in a whole lot of different variables. And focus is almost like I'm going into my own head for a while. So it's the opposite, right? Paying attention to everything in the world around me versus paying attention to what's in my mind and focusing really on like a point right in front of me. So they're almost opposites in my mind. When I'm focused on something, I might not hear a person next to me, their conversation, or I may walk into someone because I'm focused on texting on my phone, walking down the sidewalk, for example, or at work when I'm really zoned in on a spreadsheet, writing some formula, and I almost space a meeting that I'm supposed to be in. So that's kind of an example of not paying attention to the world around me because I'm focused versus being alert to all the things going around me. Thank you.
Excellent. And if we had more time, I was actually going to ask, and maybe this is something for everybody to ponder coming away from the meeting. So that was the difference between being alert and being focused. The next question I was going to ask is, what is the difference between being anxious and being focused? Because I think those are it's all this sort of continuum, and it's something that I often struggle with, and I'm not sure I really understand any of those things, because as my wife will tell you, I am terribly unfocused about so much. So with that, why don't we move on? I have about 20 minutes past 1 o'clock, and I want to make sure that we get these evaluations in, because that's really what's most important, I think. So Ian, you're going to be giving evaluations for both Amy and Nick, and whenever you're ready, please go ahead.
Thank you, Tim. So I'll start with Amy. Amy, I really liked your speech. I think the healthcare system is a mess. I think we have a lot to work in, a lot that people don't know how to work the system, I guess, to be blunt. But I would say with your speech, I really liked how you started out with a story with someone that had, a bad experience with the healthcare system. And I think that really, grabbed my attention. And then once you started to get into your points where you were going, I think there was 10 to 12 points that you ran through. I think that's where your speech kind of started to drag on. You had, the flow was just you had a lot of pauses. You didn't use any crutch words, but I do think if you maybe could have picked, top 3 from those points and really on those I definitely enjoy doing some things that I mean, I don't have health insurance currently, so something I'll take in consideration when I do. But yeah, I think it's, it's very important for people to self-advocate for themselves. And I'm glad you came up with, you talked about that today as your speech topic. And at the end, I think as you're running out of time, you kind of wanted to get it over with. And so your summary was super brief and short. So I'd like to hear maybe a more elaborate summary of the speech or conclusion. So yeah, other than that, a great speech. I always think you do a great job not using any crutch words. Definitely would like to hear about more of the healthcare system if I can learn anything. So great job, Amy.
Great, thank you. I appreciate the feedback, Ian. I think I got most of it. You kind of cut in and out in the middle there a little bit.
And Amy, you can feel free to blame me for the summary part of it because of my poor timing abilities.
Well, I should have rehearsed it more too.
And Ian, what do you have to say to Nick?
Yeah, Nick, I do like that you guys both used slides. I think it's cool to see that side of a presentation. I really love the topic. I compost myself, or I tried to compost. I've had, a few horror stories of myself. I threw in a full egg into composting, and it's a long, gross story, but that's maybe what I would like to hear in your speech is maybe your personal experience with composting, what you use it with, any of that I think would have.
Oh,
And Nick, your
and we've
speech
lost.
and your speech was awesome.
Yeah, and your speech was awesome. It was the best ever. Yeah. Ian, are you with us again? Oh, maybe yes, maybe no. Ian?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can. You were
What
just
was the last
telling
thing
Nick
I
how
said? Sorry.
awesome he was.
Well, yeah. So
You
yeah,
were
I
talking
think,
about the egg and the egg and the composting.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so now into the speech. I think the speech went really well. I enjoyed seeing all the pictures that you had. That helped out with your presentation. There was a few slides with a lot of text that where I kind of got lost, but other than that, I thought you went into, you had a great middle end, and hopefully, it definitely inspires me to continue composting. Hopefully, it inspires other people because we need more composting in the world for sure. Just would like to hear more personal experiences from your end. I definitely would like to hear, what you compost, how you use it, whether it be backyard composting or commercial composting, and maybe some options for the group that they can take today. So, but overall, awesome topic. Job well done. I guess the last piece of feedback would be, of course, the background noise, but I'm not one to talk right now with being on the road. So, but thanks for the speech, Nick.
Thanks, Ian. Great feedback, especially
Yes.
the personal touch. That's something I think is really important for speeches and storytelling, and I totally forgot to do that. So appreciate that reminder. And I totally cheated on one slide where I just do a lot of information and just read off of it.
Yeah, that was the one part I was talking about. I could definitely tell. But awesome job.
Thank you.
Well, and I want to just thank both Ian, you and Nick for really, making great effort to be here with us. Our numbers have been a little bit spotty recently, and I know from my own personal experience how difficult it is sometimes to pull away at baggage claim and dial into something, and or to be on the highway and trying to figure out where the next exit is or something like that. So I really appreciate you guys for taking, making the effort really to be here and adding so much to our meeting today. So with that, why don't we move into the other reports? Haley, the grammarian report, I can tell you right now, nobody used the word of the day, unfortunately. So going forward, let's try to be a little bit more compassionate, people, and use the word of the day, because compassion is something I think we can all benefit from and all try to practice. But other grammar points, Haley.
Sure. I noted some words and vocabulary that I liked. With Amy, you said fomented. So the patient was fomenting the process of questioning the bill. And I thought that was a really good word. And when you said the healthcare system seems like a lumbering beast, that was very effective. And then Nick, I think you had a pun in yours about fungi, which I appreciated. And I learned the word sequestration. So thank you for sharing that. And then Ian, when you said 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, the 5-second hold the box method, I thought that was interesting wording. I'm familiar with the box method, so thank you for explaining that. And then Tim, you said again to engage. And yes, I like that use of vocabulary.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Haley, you're getting very good at this. It's
I like
wonderful to
looking for
see.
these.
Well, if our numbers stay low, you may have to reprise this role again very, very soon, or sooner than you want to. But Nick, can you give us the counters report?
Yes, I can. Tim,
I'm still winner and champion, right?
there's everybody's winners here.
Oh,
I have
come
you.
on.
I have you with 7 double clutches, 2 so's, 2 and ums. Ian, 4 and ums, 5 so's, 2 buts, 2 ands, 2 you knows. You did a couple so ands as well. You like to combo those 2 words. Amy, 1 4 so's, 4 ands. Haley, 1 1 so and 5 ands. I know this in your table topics, your answer had it's a lot of ands connecting it. So just to be aware of that. Myself, I just said right there. Probably had a lot. I didn't count myself as I talked. And Dana, if you want to know, in your opening talk, you mentioned 3 times. Just to be aware of. Overall, great job, everybody. Hopefully it's helpful, this information. We're here to give you feedback to improve, not to bring you down. So hopefully this is good information to make you stronger.
It is great information, Nick. Thank you so much. And the timers report. So Amy, I had you at about 8 minutes and 30, but part of that's my fault. So I'll take that. Nick, as I noted when you gave the speech, you hit the 7-minute mark on the nose, according to my timing, which is really, really good. In the table topics, Haley, I had you coming in at 45 seconds, but as we noted at the time, this is something that that's a table topics is a good avenue for practicing and learning how to sort of extend to fill time and to think on your feet. So we'll look for continued improvement there. Ian, I had you at 1:53. Amy, I had you at 1:30. Ian, on your 2 evaluations, I had your first evaluation of Amy coming in right at 2 minutes, which is very good. And then your evaluation of Nick coming in just a little bit over, but you had a little technology break there. So I'm not sure exactly where that landed. Let's just, Nick kindly sent around the voting, and if you could just take a moment and indicate your votes. And we'll do the last little bit of evaluations as a result of that. So, I gave a table topic.
Oh, that's supposed to be Ian, not Tim. My bad. For table topics.
Well, I am much handsomer than Ian, so I mean, it's probably smart that you put me in there.
Is that a word? Handsomer?
I just made it a word, goddammit. I'm the Toastmaster. I can do anything I want.
Grammarian.
Exactly. All right. Nick, do you have all the votes?
Yeah, I got enough. I can make some decisions here.
Good, because we're 2 minutes over.
All
Sorry,
right.
everybody.
Drum roll for the best table topic goes to Amy. Great job, Amy.
Very good job, Amy.
Next, the best evaluator. Drum roll. There's neck and neck between Ian and Ian. Ian 1 and Ian 2. And the winner is Ian 1.
Ian
Literally.
won.
Ian 1. And then best speech. Drum roll. Since if I vote, I'm gonna be biased and vote for myself. I'm gonna exclude my vote, and it's gonna leave it with a tie between me and Amy. All right.
Excellent.
All right, great job, everyone.
Wonderful. Well, it's always a pleasure to see everybody. Nick, do you have any sort of club announcements that you want to make?
Just with, if you're gonna be absent, make sure you're putting your name on that row 20 on Excel sheet, and just make sure if you need to, if you can't make a meeting the week of, email the Toastmaster and officers so they can find replacements. So we have to do it during the meeting.
Because it does eat time. And
Yeah.
with that, I think we're ready to adjourn. Dana, wonderful to have you with us. Hope we'll see you again. We're looking for new members. Plenty of roles, plenty of opportunities to take turns at the plate speaking. We're a great club. What else should I say, guys? Is there anything else I should note about how wonderful we are? No? All right. Well, hopefully it's coming through the wires and coming through the camera that, yeah, exactly. That we would love to have you. And I think with that, I think we can adjourn until next week.
Bye, guys.
Excellent.
Thank you,
Have a great
Toastmasters.
week, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.